Works project. This time we're working on a Stag. This one's going next to, alongside the TR3. So in this episode, quick rundown of what we're doing, and then we'll do show you a quick repair that we've done so far on it, and what else we need to do so far. So sit back and enjoy.
Okay, so basically we're doing body and paint on a 74 Stag. A couple of minor little body issues that we're fixing up on it. There's spots that I've gone back to bare metal just to have a check. There was some marks that I was concerned about, but it turned out to be nothing serious, so we're not going to be digging too far into that. Not going to let the cat out of the bag as to the color as yet, but you'll have to wait and see. What I can say is that we do have some minor body work that needs to be done. On the pillar on the roof, we do have some minor rust issues. If the camera will focus. Come on, buddy, focus. There we go. So there are some minor rust issues, so there will be some cutting and welding in that part of the car to fix that up. And then very minor rust damage along the beading line. Also nothing serious, fairly easy, nothing's gone through the metal, so there won't be any cutting and welding there. Clean up, neutralizing, and then that's about it. As for the floorboard, on that side of the car there is a little bit of rust work that needs to be done there, but again, not cutting and welding, mainly just surface rust, so that would be a clean up and neutralizing, and that's about it. And then on the front of the car there's a little bit of accident damage. On the bonnet there's a nasty dent in the bonnet there. That was all filled up with body putty, so we'll be working on getting that dent out, getting that straightened up and fixed up. On the front of the car, the cowl over here, that's got some minor accident damage that will that will fix up. That will fix up. You can see here from a previous repair the weld that runs through here. Behind the bonnet on the inside, there is a little bit of rust that we'll have to fix up, but nothing serious there. And then one thing that we've already done while trying to get the paint off is this front corner here had a nasty dent. We tried to fix up that dent and then discovered that for some reason the metal is extremely thin there, so we actually made a new panel to go in there. That we did, that process will show later on in this video. A fairly straightforward panel making, and then welding that into place. That will be a time lapse, by the way, so I do go into a little bit of detail with making the panel itself, but the actual shaping the panel and then the welding, that will be done in time lapse. I'm pretty sure you don't want to sit through that whole process. Basically that's it for the body damage. Fortunately on this one the roof will be a fairly easy one. For those of you that don't know the Stag, this is not a fixed head coupe, it is a drop head coupe. Basically what happened was, on the Triumph models, is they all shipped with a soft top that's hidden in a compartment behind the back seat, and you had the option of buying a hot top with or without the car. So in most cases most owners bought for hot top as well. It was in the early 70s. You might know that the American government was looking at banning soft tops due to rollover danger, and a lot of car companies then jumped onto the wagon and didn't develop soft tops. That's one of the reasons why the Triumph TR7 didn't come out with a soft top in the early days, was because the market for the car, or where the car was designated to be marketed, was losing the soft top privilege. So Triumph never developed it. There was a loophole that came out in the 70s, which was a car with a roll bar was or would have been legal. So for instance, the Corvette Stingray, The Camaros, all those early 70s muscle cars that come out with what was called a T-top, which was basically the car had a hard top between the A pillar and the B pillar, with removable panels in the roof, and had a brace that runs through the middle. So that was the American solution to that problem, and that was something that carried on. I actually think Chevrolet is working on a new Camaro that's going to be a T-top. The Triumph was slightly different in that regard, that it was still a full convertible, but they fitted a T-bar across the B pillar and the window frame itself, which would have made the car totally legal in the US, even if they did decide to abandon the soft tops. Fortunately for us, that ruling was never went or never materialized rather, and the world got to keep its soft tops. That's also the reason why TR7s only came out with soft tops at the later part of the 70s. I believe they started developing soft tops in 78, and that was because of that law being abandoned by the American government. And I mean, the American government was the target market for the Stag and the TR7. So that's the reason for the T-top on the Stag, and why we've got why we've got hard tops on him. The hard top is actually quite a clever design. All electrical components on the hard top is wired into the hard top. It's actually got a contact patch that the hard top pushes up against when you fit it, and then obviously when you take it off, it closes up the connection. So there's no physical cables to connect and disconnect. It's done automatically. So as soon as you fit the hard top on the car, the connections are made, and everything works as it should on a normal closed or fixed head coupe, on a fixed head coupe top car. So that's enough waffle for one day. Let's get into the actual repairs that we did earlier. Okay, so we've got a little bit of it's not rust damage, it's thin metal. So I think from possibly a previous accident that there was some damage repair done here. There was a dent that we tried to pull out, but the metal is quite thin here, so all that happens is if you look there, as you pull it, the metal basically just there. We did try and weld it up, but it's not worth it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new patch panel that will take all this out. We'll bend the new patch panel into place and then weld the new patch in here. So that we'll do in the next step. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a template from here. We'll cut a new piece of metal, shape it into that shape, get that metal to fit over here, get that hole drilled before we do anything so that we can line these panels up and get them squared up. We'll mark the old panel out, then we'll cut that part out, put the new panel in place and weld it all up again. Okay, so we're basically going to use this now to transfer onto a new fresh piece of metal. We'll cut that out and then we'll start bending and shaping. We'll pre-drill the hole so that we've got something to work with, and then from there we'll go on. What I am going to do is just make a marker mark that goes onto the body, and that way I can use that marker that's on the body to align with the new patch panel. Okay, so got a piece of new piece of metal. So we've got our mask onto it. First thing I'm going to do is just pre-drill the hole. Once we've got the hole pre-drilled, then I will start cutting the outside shape out. Actually, firstly I'm going to start bending the shape of it. It's got a longer radius on this side than on this side to follow the taper in underneath the core. So we'll first focus on getting this shape right, and then once we've got this shape right, I'll start working on finalizing the cuts, and from there we'll go on to putting it onto the body. Okay, so we've got the hole cut, and next step is then to do the actual bends on it. I'm going to try and do this on a time lapse because this is going to take a while to do. Okay, I'm going to be in and out of the shot quite a lot because I've got to go bend and then measure on the car. So I'm going to do this as a time lapse, and yeah, once we're done we'll go back to the car and I'll show you what we do from there. Okay, so we've got a decent fitting patch panel. So the next step will be then to cut out the inside lines here, and after that we'll put the new patch panel back in, and then we'll start welding it in place. What's important to remember when doing a fix like this is not to do long runs on your welds. That will distort. So you basically will do tiny little spots about an inch apart, going all the way around, cooling the panel as you go, and eventually that will make it so that you've got a decent weld without distorting any of your metal work. Okay, so we've got a very nicely fitting patch panel. There will be some tweaking that we have to do, but that we'll do during the welding process, just to get a final flush fit on it. But so far I'm pretty happy. I'm going to time lapse the weld because it's going to be a fairly slow process to do. Okay, so we've got a fairly decent patch panel in place, and we'll be dressing it up for paintwork when we get to that point, and we'll do all the finishing dressing, getting rid of all those marks, and then we've got a brand new front mudguard. Okay, that's going to be it for this episode. Yeah, I think from next week we'll do a little bit more technical on this one. This week just started out with basically getting a feel for the car, where we're going with it and what we need to do. So yeah, next week we'll be doing a lot more, well, there's going to be quite a bit more paint cleaning, stripping off items, well, stripping off paint, and we'll take it from there. Probably next week we'll do a pretty interesting bit on the bonnet itself, on that corner that's got the accident damage. Get that fixed up and straightened out, and probably do the same for the nose cowl, the damage to the left hand side of the nose cowl. So that's probably going to be next week's episode. We'll do quite a bit of time lapse with the cleaning, with the paint stripping on it. There is going to be quite a lot of paint stripping in the next episode. Hopefully we can get the car 90% down to metal for the next episode. So thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please, if you don't mind, subscribe, like. That really helps us to do a better channel, to do better content for you. And as always, please leave a comment. Let us know what you would like to see more of or less of. And yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.